Growing up, it was me, my older sister, my younger sister, and my two parents. And we would go to Catholic church every Sunday. So I always knew about God, I knew about Jesus, I knew what he did for us. But I always felt like God was far away. I didn't understand that we could actually have a relationship with God. I remember when I was in middle school, my dad decided to sit down with me and my older sister and tell us, hey, we've raised you to be Catholic, but as you get older, we want it to be your decision. So from now on, you can choose if you want to go to church or not. And I'm like, this is great. I love this because I did not want to go. I hated it. So as soon as he gave us the green light to no longer have to go to church, I loved it. I was so happy. So in middle school, that's when I started becoming very rebellious. From there, I kept distancing myself more and more from God. And whenever I needed him, whenever I was struggling or felt like I needed a breakthrough, I would pray to Jesus because that's what I was taught. But for the most part, I wasn't a practicing Catholic anymore. I wasn't going to church or anything like that. Fast forward, I'm in high school and things at home were rough. I felt just very dissatisfied, and this is the darkest times of my life. I was looking for love in all of the wrong places. I started to experiment with drugs. I was partying every weekend. Then I started going to the club on the weekdays. I was just living a very fast life. I was very depressed. Quickly, I started to realize that none of these things that are supposed to make me happy, none of it satisfied me. I was constantly feeling depleted. And one day I woke up smelling like yesterday's regrets. My makeup's all smudged from the night before. I smell like alcohol. And I look up and I said, God, if you're really there and you hear me, I need you to prove it. I need you to come through for me because I hate my life. I need you to change my life and my circumstances. And he did just that. So what happened next was a good friend of mine from cosmetology school started reaching out to me. She started taking me to church with her. She introduced me to her friends, and that was answered prayer because at the time I said, God, the friends that I have, it's not that they're bad, but if I continue to hang out with them, they're gonna keep me on this path, this style of life that I don't want anymore. I'm tired of it. So I need good friends. I need you to send me good friends. And so my friend from cosmetology, she started taking me to Christian church, and I'd never been to Christian church. I don't think ever. And I thought it was really weird going into it that people were so friendly, they were so nice, they were welcoming. People were raising their hands and their arms and singing to God with so much passion and so much love and joy. You could see it. And I never saw that growing up. And so all of this was new to me. It was very weird. And I liked it. I liked this new lifestyle. Then in December of 2015, my mom's friend invited us to go stay with them, with her family in Washington. We're staying with this friend of my mom's who used to party with her, club with her, and do all these things. And I noticed that something was different about her. Every chance she got, she was talking about Jesus, and she was talking about how she goes to church now and she's different. It was weird. It was weird, but I remember feeling like whatever she has, I need it. I don't want it, I need it. And so one morning she got up and she went around the house, and one by one she asked everybody to go to church with her. She went up to her son, asked him to go to church. No. She asked her husband. No. She asked my mom. No. She asked my dad. No. And when it came to me, I was so excited and I said yes, not knowing that that was going to change my life. I went to church that day with her, and during the worship, when they were singing songs to God, I cried out to him and I said, God, I want to hear you. I want to know that you're real. I want to know who you are. And the pastor got on stage and he started sharing the gospel. This message that he was preaching, it just spoke to me. I felt like in this giant crowd of people, somehow this man knows my life He knows what I'm going through, and he's giving me the answer for the change that I want. I was too ashamed to run up to the front for prayer. It started hitting me that this amazing God that exists is here. He knows that I'm here, and I've sinned. And the idea that I've been so wrong my whole life and I've rebelled against him so many times consumed me. And I remember I was standing there too ashamed to run up to the front. I didn't want to go up there for prayer, and I just start crying. I'm crying so hard, and I'm trying not to because I don't know the people to my left and my right, and I don't want to seem weak. But when I let go and I said, God, I want you to come into my life. I want you to come into my heart. I believe that you died and resurrected so that I could be set free. Everything changed. I was weeping, standing exactly where I was. And for the first time in my life, I heard the voice of God. I heard the voice of God, and he told me to come back to the Father's house. And that he loves me, he welcomes me in. And then I start crying more because I can't believe that what I've desired my whole life, which was to understand and know my Creator, I wanted to know that God wasn't just some idea. He's not just some religion. I wanted to know that we could have a relationship, that I could actually hear him, that he's not far away, that he's close. And so he proved himself to me that day, and I haven't been the same ever since. I want you to know that the same can be true for you, that whatever it is that you're going through, God cares about it, and he loves you. And I wouldn't be making this video if that weren't true. He honestly has changed my life. It doesn't mean that it's been perfect or that it's all rainbows. It does come with struggles, but now I know, I'm confident that I can go to him and trust him because he never lies and he takes care of his children. This is the best decision of my life, and it's because of him that I no longer want to do those things that I used to do. Because what I found out was that they lead to nothing. They don't satisfy the way he does, the way his love does. Before accepting the Lord into my heart and into my life, I would read scriptures when I was scared, when I would have nightmares, but I wouldn't understand what I was reading. It was like my eyes were veiled or covered up. But when I decided to trust in God, everything became clear. He's changed my desires, and I understand the word now. If you feel that tug on your heart, if you feel like God is calling you, his word says in Romans 10, verses 9 to 11, that if you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you confess and are saved. As the scripture says, anyone who trusts in him will never be put to shame. For there is no difference between the Jew and the Gentile. The same Lord is Lord of all and richly blesses all who call on him. For everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved.